I woke in the ICU, screaming monitors around me, while my own flesh felt like a cage. The world shrank to white ceiling tiles and the taste of burnt metal in my throat. I tried to speak, only a rasp emerged. My name floated up in my mind, Joan. Then two others, Katie, my daughter, and Mark, my son. My eyes found a man in scrubs leaning over me. His badge read Eli, and his gentle worry said what his voice did next. "You're safe now." Safe? The word hung like a guest I didn't trust. My chest felt hollow, like wood rotted from the inside. My mind clung to Katie, then Mark. I croaked, "Where are they?" Eli's face shifted. He paused. "Don't push yourself," he whispered. I grazed the crease of panic, but he moved away. That night when the ward grew still, I overheard his voice. "She's stable. Want to talk to her?" The other voice? "No, I'll pass." The line clicked. My heart pounded. My own children knew I was alive and rejected me. In the morning, the nurse straightened the tray table. Under the cup of water, I saw a folded scrap of notebook paper. My hand shook as I pulled it forward. It read, "Leaving for 10 days. Hope you'll be better by then. K and M." No flowers, no call, just that. My tears wouldn't come. Instead, a heavy quiet swallowed me. I realized the people I'd raised, nursed through storms, had boarded a plane while I drifted between life and death. The machines around me hummed, but in my head, there was only emptiness. 9 days later, I was discharged, the papers crisp in my hand, the bag of pills clutched like proof I survived. Waiting outside, a hospital volunteer. Not Katie, not Mark. The ride home was silent. I stared out the window as the driver changed radio stations. At home, something clutched in me. The curtains were different. The porch chairs missing. I found the little frog planter I kept by the steps. Empty. Fumbling out the front door, 15 minutes later, someone opened. It wasn't Katie. It wasn't Mark. It was Brian, my son-in-law, holding a coffee cup like a trespasser. "Welcome home earlier than expected," he stuttered. I walked past him, each step weighted. The living room looked like a stranger's space, furniture rearranged, walls half painted in a shade I'd never pick, my wedding photos shoved into a box. On the dining table lay a glossy real estate flyer, "Ideal family home, charming location." That was my house, my 27-year home. I slumped into a chair. My eyes flicked to a folder, legal papers, titled "Power of Attorney," bearing my signature, dated 3 years back when I was recovering from hip surgery and they told me it was just routine insurance paperwork. I grabbed my old iPad. It still powered on. I scrolled to Mark's messages. "When Mom's house finally sells, we get Stace. Assisted living is next. No more boundaries." My chest burned, not from the stroke, but from that message. This was no mistake. This was a plan. The woman who worked double shifts so they could finish college was about to be canceled. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I decided to fight. I remembered Adam Reyes, my former student, shy boy, now a lawyer in San Antonio. I called that afternoon. "Adam, it's Joan." He paused, then recognition. I ran through the facts. He listened without judgment. Then, "They overstepped. This power of attorney doesn't let them sell. We can stop it." Relief flooded me. That evening, I roamed the emptiness of the house, the dent in the carpet where the couch escaped, the shadow on the floor where last year's tree stood. I grabbed a shoebox, emergency cash, and my notebook of handwritten passwords. They thought I was finished. They forgot I raised them. I changed the locks. Brian came an hour later, rattling knobs. Through the Ring camera, I warned, "Take your tools before we donate them." He left. Calm held me. They wanted me gone, but I wasn't playing their game. Within 3 days, Adam filed the papers. The court rescinded the POA, restored my full control. Just then, I took action. Staying meant waiting for the next move, so I sold the house. Cash buyer, no contingencies. 11 days later, sale closed. I stood in the empty living room, eating a sandwich from a paper plate. "This is the end," I whispered. I went to the bank next morning, closed every joint account, opened new ones in a name I borrowed from my grandmother's maiden name, Jane Ellis. Signing felt odd, a new coat that fit perfectly. I packed only what mattered: my late husband's watch, a bundle of photos, and a box of my children's early drawings. The rest, gone. Furniture, dishes, curtains, artifacts of someone else's design. Before I left, I wrote 2 notes, one for Katie, one for Mark, 8 words each. "Thank you for showing who you are." I left them on the counter beside the realtor's card. At dawn, I loaded my dusty Corolla and drove without GPS or plan. By dusk, I crossed into Arkansas and parked behind a hardware store. The landlord asked only, "Cash or check? Smoke?" I said, "No, cash." That night, I listened to crickets through my thin walls and felt something I hadn't in years: relief. In Fairhaven, I became someone new. Jane Ellis, widowed librarian, childless, seeking peace. Volunteering at the library, dusting shelves and restoring bindings, I was home in yellowed pages. I met Kara, a diner waitress with weary eyes, and her son Ethan. When he called me Grandma Jane, something welded in me. Days slipped into routine. Then July arrived. Ethan's 9th birthday party in the VFW hall. I sat beside him, watched him open gifts, and someone filmed us. 3 days later, the clip exploded online. Someone matched my face to San Antonio headlines. I froze. My cover story dissolved. The next morning, a silver SUV with Texas plates drifted past the library. My heart locked. Katie stepped out. Skinny jeans, coffee in hand. She looked smaller, as if shame lightened her. I washed through the glass door. 5 minutes passed. I stepped out, hands trembling, shoulders straight. "Mom," she whispered. I met her gaze. "You weren't there." The words hit harder than any slap. She said, "We didn't know." I laughed, bitter. "You left me while I fought for breath." She choked. Face changed in that moment. "I was scared," I said softly. "I corrected my course. Now I'm choosing mine." She reached out, paused. I shook my head. "I'm not coming back." I moved away, slow, deliberate, no spectacle. It was closure. 3 weeks passed before Mark reached out. No call, just a letter slipped into the library's Dropbox. Inside, my own long-forgotten ICU note. "If I wake, please come. I'm scared." In the margins, his apology. "I thought you'd understand." I sat at my kitchen table for 2 nights, unopened. Then I accepted the meeting. At the cemetery, my husband's headstone nearby, Mark arrived clutching a bag like armor. He handed me the envelope and spoke, "I didn't know how to watch you fail. I move fast so you won't." I turned. "I needed you to show up." I walked away. No hug, no backward glance. Next morning, I pulled out the notebook from under my bed. At the top, I wrote, "You did it. You got free." Then, what I left and what I gained. Quiet mornings, genuine friends, a child who loved me for me. I closed the box with old memories. The next day, I trimmed hedges with Ethan, watching fireflies. Kara asked, "Do you regret walking away?" I thought about machines, silence, that note, the flyer. No, I said. I regret staying so long. The sun set. I looked on. I was not a headline, not a ghost, just Jane. That was enough. Family shows up when you're down. I am not defined by blood. I am defined by who stays. If you've ever been betrayed or thought you had nowhere to go, hit like and subscribe to Winds of Thought for more stories of survival and rebirth. And leave a comment.